UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.
To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's done more with less than any player at that position we've ever had.
Oh, good Friday morning or afternoon to you wherever you are. This is Unpaved. I'm Sean Salisbury at Sean Unfiltered on Twitter, the Sean Salisbury on Instagram. My partner Adam Sager, Adam G. Sager on Twitter will be along here shortly. And we got a great Friday for you. And great stuff yesterday. And thanks to all of you who continue to join us and continue to build this into a really, really special podcast that we're passionate about and love. All right. Football playoffs, college football. We're going to review all that today. I got something in my craw that I've hit on a lot elsewhere, but not on this show. Not on this show since we started. We're almost a year in, and man, the growth has been awesome. And I really don't care if players don't like what I have to say about this. I don't give a shit. I don't care if owners. I don't care. I never have. I'm not here to make it personal. I'm just here to tell you how I feel about the business side of professional sports. I do not understand why pro sports, and I understand player empowerment to a point, and I love what Steve Bisciotti said. Lamar Jackson, I want everybody's input. He has no power. I do. And Bisciotti's humble and gracious and doesn't get behind that mic very often. Loved it. Yeah, I'll take his input. I want to listen. More knowledge we have, better chance to make decisions. Whether it's the analytics, the feel, you've been around somebody, loved it. Oh, yeah, I want his insight. Make no mistake. I'm making the decision because I have the power. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit. I say it a little more forceful. Bisciotti was just very firm, and he's right. He signs the paychecks. Let me transfer this to baseball for a second. Number one, let's start with the no trade clause thing. And this applies to football, basketball. I'm never telling a guy I can't trade him. It looks good early, no trade clause, gotcha, secure, make you feel like you're a cowboy for life. Then the motherfucker after year 3 says, I'm not coming to camp. Or you sign him to a long-term deal, and 4 years in, you're like, this dude sucks ass, but I can't trade him unless he approves it. No trade clauses are near the top. No. Your no trade guarantee is the $150 million I'm paying you. If you don't like it, take a powder and get to stepping. There's other place you can play because there's very few one-guy athletes that are going to change my franchise around. I can go through a lot of them. Sometimes one guy does. It's rare. I'll take my chances with the numbers that say that guy or the field when it comes to no trade clause. Give me the field. Let me transfer this to baseball and go one deeper. Who woke up one day in this world we live in of analytics and ass kissing the players? And I was one, but wasn't in position to demand no trade clause or opt-outs. Who came up with this? What dumbass came up with your front office guy thought it was a good idea? I got a great idea. That agent suggests, hey man, give him an opt-out. I got a great idea. Offer him $250 million. He's going to leave, but if you offer him, he'll leave. But what we want, all that guaranteed on your end. But after year 1 and year 2, we want him to be able to use you as a bridge, shove a stick up your ass, and take the money and run as you bridge gap. You gave him the bridge to go somewhere else. So basically, he's using you to have a great year. And when he does, you're hosed. You got him for one, and he gets to go play somewhere else. There cannot be a dumber, aside from guaranteeing Deshaun Watson after what he went through, $230 million after he had signed a contract in Houston, to guarantee him $230 million, all fully guaranteed, and then see what's happened. Now, that's dumb. But in baseball, there can't be any dumber. And if you're an owner doing it, you're a dipshit. If you're a player that's begging for it and that's your final decision, I get why you'd ask for it. Don't pee in my face and tell me it's raining. You are never getting an opt-out. Jim Crane's been great at this. Carlos Correa, I want opt-out, man. I want opt-out, guarantees opt-out. I want $300 million. I want opt-outs. Correa, hell of a player, right? Talent? No, not getting that. I want an opt-out. Oh, Minnesota will come in and give it to you. Well, no shock. What's going on in their city, but in their town, should I say in their state? But regardless, I digress. That was just a little dig in one of my favorite states. Well, used to be, and great people there. So Correa goes there, plays some good baseball, some bad, inconsistent, not worth $300 million type of baseball. And guess what that dude is now? He's back in Houston, and guess who didn't give him opt-outs? And everybody, we can't let the captain and the heel and the guy who's been great here leave us. He left. They didn't win a World Series, came back. And you did have to give him the opt-out. Well, Alex Bregman goes to Houston. I mean, gets drafted by Houston, great player, goes to Boston. They weren't willing to pay him all the money he wanted. Goes to Boston where he plays his best baseball. He's always been good in Fenway Park. Has a good year. They decide with the Rafi Devers stuff, well, we paid him big money. There's problem going on. He doesn't want to move positions, all the shit that I don't have to redocument. He goes to San Francisco. You trade him. Now they got him, and he'll always rake. You know, maybe a little bit of a pain in the ass, but he'll always rake. Bregman comes, plays good baseball. All of a sudden now you gave him an opt-out after 1 year. Takes your money, plays better. Now you've not only lost Devers because Bregman came there, not because of Bregman the guy, but Bregman the position. And now Bregman turns around and you offer him 165 for 5. He takes 175 from the Cubs, and you're fucked both ways. Because one, you were cheap not to give an extra $10 million over the course of time. What? To a guy who's a staple player for you? But he hosed you, and you were hosed from the beginning. He used the Boston Red Sox as a bridge to get to the Cubs. Kyle Tucker, boom. The Dodgers just signed him, and I know they can sign everybody. Don't bitch about it. The rules say they can. I'm on the Dodgers. If you can afford to buy a championship, go buy it. They still got to perform. Kyle Tucker's a Dodger, what, $240 million or something? They're giving him opt-outs. So basically, I can use the bridge, take the guaranteed money, and then piss on you when I leave. I'm not saying Tucker or Bregman are wrong for doing it. I'm saying you dumbass front office people allowed an agent to talk you into this. So basically, I'm simply saying I love what Tillman Fertitta did at the University of Houston. When this kept happening, Kevin Sumlin left, Tom Herman, they were getting good football coach, kept building themselves up and going to Texas, going to bigger programs. Texas A&M. Then finally, Fertitta said, no, this isn't a bridge program. Kelvin Sampson, basketball lifer now. Hopefully, Willie Fritz the same way. Put a stop to it. Start paying more, getting better recruits. Stop it. You're not using University of Houston as a bridge program. What are these people doing? I signed you to $240 million. Do I really owe you? And well, if you don't, then here's the comeback for some of these know-it-alls in baseball or in football or in basketball, whatever. Hey, man. Well, if you don't give them the opt-out, they're not gonna sign with you. I don't give a fuzzy rat's ass. Okay, how many opt-outs won the World Series for the Dodgers last year? No, they're there. Ohtani's still there. Betts is still there. Muncie's still there. They're there. So you give a guy to come and use you for a year, and if you don't win a championship, Boston didn't. I'm not only going to lose Bregman, but I'm using Devers, two guys which are the core of my team, because I was cheap but also stupid, because after 1 year I gave him an opt-out that the Houston Astros wouldn't give and that smart teams won't give. I've never understood why this is it. And I think that there couldn't be a dumber thing in sports. There's no player, well, I can't say none. There may be a couple. But I would never, and I say never if I was a front, well, he wants an opt-out. Well, he ain't getting it here. We just guaranteed him $300 million, and he wants to be able to leave us after he made his first 55 on us. Yeah, I got a great idea. Sign Josh Allen and say, hey, dude, you know what? Here's what. You can get out of your contract after a year. Go be the MVP, and we'll let you walk on us. How fucking dumb can baseball be? Sorry for cussing. No, I'm not actually sorry for cussing. They tell you you're smarter if you cuss more. Well, I don't know if that's true either. I do know this. There's no dumber, unless you bring college. I'm talking about pro sports, which college sports is now. NIL, transfer portal. Portal may rival this. There's no dumber negotiating tool used against professional sports franchises in baseball than the opt-out. Basically, you're saying you just come and piss on us, use us for whatever you want, and then take the money and run. When we put a stop to that, baseball will get better. Until then, you're just as dumb as it gets for allowing a star to take your money, use you as a bridge, and go somewhere else. Dumb idea. The Red Sox are suffering for it. The Dodgers will win regardless, but you get $240 million with me, your opt-out's when I cut your fucking ass. That's it. To Augusta Precious Metals. How's that for a segue? Big partner and obviously a teammate in a great part of this show. Now, listen, I'm just curious. When we talk about what you're looking for in your retirement, Augusta Precious Metals can help. I think we all want to be educated, right? I think we all do. Now, some of these things that, and I made some notes here, inflation obviously can significantly reduce real retirement value when the balances increase, right? Or purchasing power, not account size, determines the financial security, right? Some of these takeaways. Listen, why rising account balances can still mean losing money. So we're talking about the cash and the dollar, right? Continues to rise, you can still lose money. I just want to tell you, when you're talking about confidence in gold and silver, silver's on the rise too. Don't just stop at gold. Precious metals are important. If you were late to the party like me, and then jumped in and realized how stupid you were for being late to the party, not stupid, but just kind of ignorant to it, because I didn't trust it at first. But tangible assets, precious metals, gold and silver in your hands, and then you got the dollar, which, well, we know what's going on with the dollar and all the expensive stuff you're going through. I don't know what's important to you. To me, security, peace of mind, and confidence in life and retirement. The older you get, you're going to realize peace of mind without chaos is far more important than, hey, my bank account grew, but did the value and did your confidence grow? Because, well, people are changing jobs. If you're getting a little older, you think that executive job's still there, boom, it doesn't go in the account balance. But if you got security, peace of mind, and you've gone to Augusta Precious Metals and text Sean to 35052, click on the link in the description below. Either way, and go in there and educate yourself on why. I don't know. If somebody gives you this, it's more valuable, and gives you this, it's not. What would you take? Whether you're 20 years away, 5 years away, or in retirement now. Just do your due diligence. Don't get left behind on precious metals. And Augusta Precious Metals is the best place. I've done a lot of deep dive into a lot of companies with this, because a lot of them, you see them on TV and the rest of it, but what are they providing? As Nick Saban says, when it comes to his football teams, what value do you provide for this organization? I'm asking you, what value does your precious metals company or your dollar bring to you? I know what Augusta Precious Metals does. It brings value. Don't let Washington, D.C. make all your decisions, and it's going to affect all of us. Debt affects everybody. How do you protect yourself in retirement or with confidence and security and peace of mind? Augusta Precious Metals. Go educate yourself. I'm not telling you to go buy anything. I think you're going to decide that for yourself. So why wouldn't you say, well, which one's more valuable for me or my family or my confidence? I can tell you this, what you're going to find out after your visit with Augusta Precious Metals and texting Sean to 35052, that I'm on to something, that Augusta Precious Metals is on to something. I'm not trying to scare you straight, but if you get left behind, you're going to miss out on some real value, because the price of gold and silver is, and their value is going through the roof, not just now, 2026 and beyond. And I think we realize that. Jump all over it. Augusta Precious Metals, text Sean to 35052. Segs, just as before you start rolling into your questions, I've never understood the concept, Adam G. Sager on Twitter, the concept of giving opt-outs. My opt-out is the $240 million I just gave you guaranteed. You don't get that opportunity. I think it is one of the dumber negotiating okey dokes that front offices have bought into.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle
players are chasing a dollar, and
yeah.
I'm not giving them the opportunity to use me as a bridge. I'm just not.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker gets the 4-year, $260 million deal.
250,
yeah, 240. That's what it was.
Year 2 opt-out, Sigs, year 2 and 3.
Opt-out after year 2 and 3. So he'll get his, and the crazy thing about the Dodgers deal is, essentially, because where they're at in their payroll and being over the very top tax line, this
well over the top tax line.
Yes, well over the top tax line. This deal essentially is a 4-year, $480 million deal for the Dodgers. That's how much they will be paying. Now, Tucker's not getting all that. That will go into Major League Baseball. That's what they have to pay the tax for. but you're essentially paying him almost over $120 million a year.
And you know
just
what's
to come
crazy,
play for
Sigs?
you, and he can opt out after 2 years. We saw today, Bo Bichette signs with the New York Mets, a 3-year, $126 million deal. He has opt-outs every single year. He can opt out after year 1. He can opt out after year 2. And then obviously he's a free agent after year 3.
So here's what I don't get. And I'm trying to figure out the concept. I've never been able to have anybody sell me on the fact that why this is a good thing, giving opt-outs to star players, ever. I'm talking about just on the surface of it. First of all, it makes you look like a desperate organization. And the Dodgers are not desperate. They got the money to pay it. They're already sitting on a ring. They know how to win championships, all that. My question is, so let's say Tucker goes and wins the MVP back-to-back and plays like Mookie Betts did in Boston, like he has in Los Angeles. I'm just using him as an example of switch teams. Goes and wins the most valuable player award. And then the following year puts up great numbers, kind of like Nikola Jokic with Denver, but loses the MVP to Shea Gilgeous when he could have wanted to get, plays well enough to win the MVP. And then after 2 years, he says, 4 years at 260 isn't quite enough for me.
Right.
And I got all this money guaranteed, like baseball and basketball salaries are, unlike football. I want to leave again because, well, the San Francisco Giants are offering me $70 million a year. So you've used us, and we didn't win a championship. You used us, and we won a championship before you. You're the MVP, but we didn't win a championship after you.
Right.
What's the advantage? You want the great player, didn't we? Tell me where the advantage is on the surface, not the deep dive into luxury tax. On the surface, what's the value of giving Alex Bregman an opt-out after 1 year in Boston after Devers you sent packing? What's the advantage for the Red Sox?
I mean, in reality,
What they get in return?
There's no advantage to it. The only reason it's not there, and because some team basically gave the first one, and I don't know which team that was for which player who got the very first opt-out in his contract, but it's a way to get these guys in the building, and then you feel like, okay, we have success. They're going to want to stay. Now, it's showing that that's not the case.
Show me the track record of how many actually stay.
Right. So, I mean, especially when you're giving them after every single year, it is like college football. It is like everything we've been talking about with NIL, where these kids are essentially free agents after every single year.
Okay.
And there is no tampering in NCAA. It is just a free-for-all there. Essentially, that's what you're doing with these opt-outs.
So wouldn't the equivalent on the other side, okay, you want the opt-out. Sigs, I'm the owner of the Red Sox, and I'm talking to you. You just had a great year, okay? Hell, Bregman didn't even have a dominant year the year before in Boston, but in Houston, but he's a good player, right? Yeah. And you also lost your best player, whether he's a headache or not, to San Francisco because Bregman came in and took that position, and rightfully so, because Bregman's a 25 times better third baseman defensively than Rafael Devers was. All right. So think about this. Yeah, great point, Dustin. But what if marriages had opt-outs where you didn't have to pay half? Shit, who wouldn't want that? But the equivalent now, so Segs, I'm the Red Sox. Yeah, you want here, Segs, here's the offer. 5 years, $200 million. We think you're that good a player. 5-year deal. Fair enough?
Yep.
5-year deal, $502 million. 5 years, $2 million. You like the money? Okay.
Yeah.
And you want an opt-out after year 1 and year 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. If you opt out after year, we got a guarantee, but if you decide to opt out, we would like half of the money back you made on the first year salary. Guarantee us that. No? Why not?
Does
I just got to hedge my bet, don't I? Okay, I got a better. Then if you're not going to do that, I'll make you a deal. You want an opt out after 1 year. If you hit below 280 and 25, we're an analytics driven, right, Sigs? It's numbers, right? Evidence.
Baseball.
So if you don't reach the numbers we set that you think are going to put you in position, or if you don't make the all-star team, I want 75% of your guaranteed money back, or the guarantee of the rest of your money is off. Your contract's going. I don't know how the PA sets it up. The real rules. I'm just talking. I want something in return. I want the equivalent of what I've given you to use me as a bridge. I want to use you, and I want the money back. Are you willing to do that for me?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So why would I want you? You're not that good.
Right. Well,
okay, let me ask you this: is you lost Tucker Who's a better player at this stage of their career, Tucker or Bregman?
Tucker.
So you lost a guy. Your franchise got worse when Tucker left. You got better with Bregman there, but did you get better than Tucker? So you're giving him an opt-out after 2 years, which if it doesn't go well or he gets booed or isn't playing well or has a great year at the next 2 years, and Houston comes back and says, okay, now we're not going to give you an opt-out, but we want you for 4 years at $35 million a year. You get to come back home to Houston to finish up your career. What's he doing? He's leaving Chicago.
Yeah.
More than likely. So my point is, you see what I'm saying? We want to give we give you. See, everybody thinks they can talk the guy into staying. You can't talk him into it unless you're giving him more money. The opt-out. Name me 5 athletes that are worth the opt-out. And why isn't NFL doing this, Eggs? Why wouldn't I do this with Josh Allen?
Because they don't have.
Because you're not stupid enough to do it.
Well, and they don't have the guaranteed money, so that leverage doesn't really sit there.
Deshaun does. He got it all guaranteed, right? I mean, and now we're getting 85% of it guaranteed. My point is,
that's why the Browns are the Browns.
For such geniuses in making all this money as front office people, who died and woke up one day and decide, let's give the guy an opt-out. He can use us as a bridge. We'll take him for 1 year. So basically, you're telling me 29 teams that didn't win the World Series would have never got, if everybody had their star on a 1 year opt-out, if they're just saying everybody. So 29 teams that didn't win the World Series are disappointed and that they basically got hosed because the opt-out guy didn't give them, Bregman didn't give the opt-out team a World Series champion in Boston, did he? Sure didn't. So you'd still want him, I think. He's a good player, but you gave him the opportunity to use you as a bridge, play his best baseball in the last couple of years, and now he's going to Chicago to give them great baseball too.
We'll leave it here. The league has a chance in 2 years, in 2027. Well, so actually after next season, after 2027, the collective bargaining agreement is going to be up. The owners need to go in there with the preparation of stopping baseball. They're never going to get a salary cap.
Ever.
Unless the players get a very high floor. But they're never getting a salary cap. It's not happening. What can the owners get? Rid of these opt-outs. And if players want to sign for 3 years, fine, do it. If you want to sign for 1 year,
but you're staying for 3 years unless I cut you or trade you.
Exactly. So that's what the owners need to go for when it comes to this next CBA in a couple of years. Everybody just needs to prepare for a lockout. If you're a baseball fan, it is coming. It especially with the Dodgers signing Tucker for $60 million. They currently have 8 contracts over $100 million on their books. Their pre-tax money is like $450 million on their books. So while I agree, spend the money if you have it. If you want to, go build a winner. But they are going to force a work stoppage in a year or in 2 seasons, after 2 seasons. And then we'll see what happens coming out of that and how serious the players and the owners are in getting what they want in this deal.
Segs, did Ohtani, when he came over to the Dodgers, have an opt-out in his first 2 years?
I don't think so.
Me either. So that's a why. Now, if you give an opt-out in year 5 or 6, I'm talking about the first 3 or 4 years in the prime of their career. Why would I give a guy like that? Even with Ohtani, if I'm a team right now, and he was another MVP and all that, hey, we'll sign him for 8 years, but after year 1, he gets an opt-out. I'm not giving Ohtani an opt-out. I want him in my organization. I don't want to give him the opportunity because the chances are he's going to be an MVP and he's going to put up gaudy numbers. Why would I let him use me as a bridge to go back to a team that wants to give him? I'm not giving him one.
Yeah, from what I can see, he does not have any opt-outs.
Oh, what a novel concept. So the best player in any sport, in any world, the most dominant player of all sports in the world, more dominant than Mahomes, more dominant than any NBA, more dominant than Giannis, more dominant than Gilgeous-Alexander, the best player in pro sports in his league. Hell, I don't know, even more dominant than Scottie Scheffler. So we haven't given Ohtani an opt-out.
Nope.
Wow. So we didn't let the best player in the world leave us after he was the MVP back to back and leave. You paid him a lot of money. Isn't Kyle Tucker's opt-out in the $260 million I just paid him? It's guaranteed no matter what. So they win all the way around.
Yeah.
And if after year 2 he gets tired of LA, he can leave you after the MVP year.
Or if just another team is just saying, hey, we'll give you 6 for $360. We'll match your $60 million salary and we'll give you, we'll give you more years. Now you've
And if it's guaranteed, why do I need the opt out to go get more money? It's going to be my money anyway if I'm the player.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of time on a subject. It's been in my crawl for a long time. I just think I think you have I think that you are a bad negotiator to give up. I do. And if the Dodgers win, I think giving Kyle Tucker opt-outs is a mistake. I could think the Red Sox giving Bregman opt-outs 1 and 2. You know who's done it better than anybody who refuses to budge on this? Jim Crane.
Yeah.
Just Jim Crane. You can talk about cheating. Jim Crane has said he didn't do it with Bregman. He didn't do it with Correa. And guess what? He wouldn't have done it with Tucker. Hence, guess what? Why they traded his ass.
Yeah.
And you get Cam Smith and Wisniewski, and you get some players that can help you, Paredes, because you knew you weren't going to keep him. And guess what? Now he's on his 3rd team in less than 2 years. And the Dodgers have given him an opt-out too. And Kyle Tucker's a good player. The opt-out no trade clause lives in the $260 million I guaranteed you. You don't get to walk on me. I'm not letting it happen. And the Red Sox, but they got hosed 2 ways. And they recovering from that. The Red Sox are not winning the World Series this year.
No.
Period. They're just not. No matter how you shape it. And that's a bummer because that's my team.
We have a massive weekend in the NFL coming this weekend. It's divisional round in the playoffs. Sean, let's start here. Peter Schrager on his show was talking about the handshake and the locker room stuff with Ben Johnson. And here's what he had to say about this whole scenario and what has transpired with the McVay coaching tree.
Handshake and all that mother F stuff from Ben Johnson did not go over well with the McVay tree, if you will, and around the league. Mike LaFleur is Matt LaFleur's little brother. He's the offensive coordinator for the Rams. And Sean's best friend in coaching is Matt LaFleur. So when you do the utter disrespect and the brazen locker room video where you're saying F the Packers, F that coaching staff, and the social media team clicks go, send it, put it out in the world. And then the next day, when you've got 24 hours to really think about it, to say, no, I'm fine with what I said, and my owner's got my back on that too. This is the WWE part of this, where there's actual personalities involved. And I think McVay wants to kick the snot out of Ben Johnson. And I think Ben Johnson, who's beaten McVay the last 2 times when Detroit played the Rams, has no problem with that. I'll beat the snot out of you. I love these 2 guys, 2 young alpha offensive minds, going at it in this game. I can't wait.
First off, Ben Johnson did not say fuck the staff. He did not say that. He said, fuck the Packers, fuck those guys. I fucking hate them. That's what he said. So he never said, fuck the staff, pointing directly at Matt LaFleur. He just said, fuck the Packers, which is a saying that goes around Chicago all the time. It's been doing that since I was a kid. It's always been fuck the Packers. That's what we Bears fans say. I mean, this is no different. And Packers fans are all in their feelings about this shit. Yet it's okay when Aaron Rodgers is like, I fucking own you and all this shit. They love that. This is why it's stupid. This is sports. If you can't handle this shit, get the fuck out. Don't be a fan. Don't be a player. Don't be a coach. If you can't handle this, then you're not built for this stuff. If you let this kind of stuff bother you.
First off, we're in a shit-talking nation in society with social media. People do it all the time. 2 young coaches. I don't care if you're young or old. I was on a time plenty of times when older coaches talk the shit too. I'll never forget that our guy Jerry Burns, and Burnsy's one of my favorite people of all time. God rest us. I love Burnsy. I only imitate him because we had guys that when you do Burnsy, you got to put fucking as your field. A fucking cocksucker. And we'd have guys do it. It's Cloud. Fuck those cocksuckers. As Burgess Meredith, and we'd sit there and hang on every word. How many cuss words can Burnsy get in 60 seconds? And I remember we're getting ready to play the Bears. He goes, fuck those Bears. This pregame speech. After the game, we'll fucking fight him in the parking lot. I'll kick Ditka's ass. Fuck those guys. I mean, honestly, he didn't hate Ditka. It's called gamesmanship. And do I think that Ben Johnson deeply can't stand the Packers? Yes, but he shouldn't. He's the Bears head coach. And on the other side, even though it may not be said, we get guys you want to play against guys you want to beat their brains in because they're on the opposite team, they're a rival. Now, I would have had a problem and said, fuck those, fuck their staff, made it personal on the coach. But the bag said, fuck this coach, fuck the Packers, and let's go on, right, Sinks? That's just rivalry gamesmanship. We love it when a guy says it on social media and does it. Yeah, I love the competitiveness, the gamesmanship. But when a coach says it, we're offended. I'm sure All I think of that, I'm sure McVay wants to beat his brains in just like Ben Johnson. And if he does, oh well, they're not fist fighting. They're going to settle it on the field and keep talking shit. I think Ben Johnson had a plan when he took the gig. I'm a Detroit Lion. I hate everybody else. Now I hate Detroit too. I hate the Packers. I hate the Vikings. And you should. Because if he came out and said, you know what, man, they're a really good team. You know, we'd say, quick kiss in there, fuck those Packers or fuck those Bears. That's what they'd say.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't have a problem with it. And I do love it because there's a little bit, and listen, Mike LaFleur and Matt LaFleur and Kevin O'Connell, think about, they're littered everywhere. And the truth is, there's an arrogance about that tree, there just is.
Yep.
And so outsiders, there was an arrogance about the Bill Walsh tree. There was an arrogance about the Andy Reid tree. We all have man, I was part of this. You take pride in it, just like you would your university. I have zero issue with Ben Johnson in a pregame speech, just like I had zero issue when Dan Lanning did his shit a couple of years ago. Remember when he was the last year before? So what? You know what? And then they could switch it. Now all of a sudden, if Ben Johnson got the Packers job, guess who he'd hate? The Chicago Bears. It's just the way it works. So it's not. And if you say that in a speech, it's really good optics for the camera. Hey, people don't like Sean McVay at times with his up and down the sidelines and smirking and arrogant. I mean, it's the way it is. Great coach, another great coach. I love the sidebar of it. It's okay. It's gamesmanship. And anybody that's pussed out over it and it can't handle it. And if you're McVay and you're at the 2-yard line and you're up 25 and you got a chance to run play action and throw it in, throw it in. Yeah. Rub the shit in. Then go take a quick hand. And I don't have a problem with the quick handshake. LaFleur did it to him the first time. He did it to LaFleur again. So what? I actually think that they both keep score. Yeah. So however you handle it, I don't really care. Fuck them. I didn't like when we play. I loved the guys I played against in Green Bay. But when you played against them, it was for 60 minutes full-blown fist fight. I'll deal with your friendship afterwards. And if you don't like what I said, I'm sure you'll then settle it on the field. Right. And if not, then I guess you'll fight me in the parking lot. I don't know. But listen, people don't want boring. You ain't getting boring from these two coaches. And people, well, you got to respect them. I can respect them. But in my own locker room, in my building, fuck them. And if you don't like it, who cares? And then you go settle it. So, you know what? If they took it personal, or if either side, if he kicks Ben Johnson, and if I'm Sean McVay and I knew this in the pregame speech stage, guess what I'm doing? Locker room material, bulletin board materials everywhere. If I'm McVay and I'm up 20 and there's 6 minutes to go, short of putting my players in harm's way, I'm trying to beat you by 30. Oh, I'm just like if Ben Johnson's up by 3 touchdowns.
For a Bears team, you kind of need to.
That's true. But if you're Ben Johnson, knowing this, what do you think this is going to do after all this? Dude, I'm Caleb Williams. We're running naked bootleg at the 4 to beat you by 30. Vice versa. I love it. Not everybody's Andy Reid who just does his thing and doesn't say anything. Sometimes a little extra spark in a rivalry doesn't bother me one friggin' bit. And I'm sure they want to beat each other's brains in. And guess what? Have at it. Who cares what the other organization thinks? They ain't signing my paycheck. You think I give a shit what other radio stations or podcasts think about us? If they're wise, they tune in. I'm not going to talk shit about them, but guess what? I know who we're better than that. And if people are wise, they'll see that too. But doesn't mean I don't like them. But if the gamesmanship applies, let's get it on. They ain't signing my paychecks. I don't give a fuck what they think either. And neither should you.
Bears Rams this Sunday. I was talking to the guys before the show. It's going to be cold in Chicago Sunday night when the Bears are sending out a letter to fans that are supposed to attend the game that say basically like, yes, you're allowed to wear electric blankets or electric clothes to keep yourself warm. You're not allowed to bring cardboard in to stand or sit on because that keeps your body heat in a little bit more. You're not allowed to do this. Make sure you're drinking water because you can get cold dehydration. All this stuff that they're listing, that's how you know it's going to be cold. Right now, they're calling for the temperature feel of about -1 at kickoff. You and I both know you played there. I've been to plenty of games there in this time of the year. When they say -1, it feels like -20, especially on that lakefront.
I've played in games that cold.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's the wind's supposed to be anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour with possible 40-mile-an-hour gusts. I mean, it is going to be, I think in the end, it'll be one of the top 5 coldest games in Soldier Field history. I've been to, I think, 2 of the top 5 right now, and it was beyond ridiculous how cold it really was in that stadium. I can't imagine these guys that are out there and just their pads and, one layer, or some of these guys with no layers on under their jersey. How do you as a player get ready for a game like this?
You can't simulate it. Okay. And I played in Winnipeg, where you have to plug your vehicle in. When you go into the grocery store for 10 minutes, you come out and the battery's dead. And here I am, a Southern California guy, and I played in some really cold, played in Cleveland in a playoff game that was it was freezing. Played in Chicago in Soldier Field, freezing. Played in Green Bay, cold as hell. I mean, seen them all. And here's what it comes, and it is simple, Segs. The game's not simple. And playing in this weather. See, the cold, I can handle a little bit of rain unless it's a deluge and you can't see, right? And the balls, the ass sweat and the ball is just where you just got to hand it off. Yeah. Or the snowstorm that New England and Buffalo played in, where Mac Jones, you hand it off 65 times because you can't throw it. Or the Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys, where Bob Hayes is running routes with his hands in the front of his pants, football pants. Those cold games. Or the Chargers playing the Bengals at minus 59-degree wind chill in a playoff game. That's just, and it really is, mental toughness, Segs. I played in the playoff game in New York, Segs. I mean, it was the cold, wet cold. You know that one where it's cold and it's rainy and it's windy, but it's not the dry cold, it's the wet cold, which makes it even more miserable. Jersey gets cold, you're like teeth chattering cold, but you got to deal with it. We ain't canceling the game. If there's no lightning, you're playing this damn thing. So it really comes down to both teams got to do it. Who's mentally tougher? You can't. How would we simulate that in our building? How are you going to? Hey, man, we just got to deal with it. Well, you got to deal with it, but your production's going to back up. Now, in a little bit of snow or rain, offense advantage. Why? The ball's still a little tacky. You know where you're going. They don't. So on the cuts, you can break it down. The worst is wind. Segs, I'd rather play in 20-degree weather with 0 wind than 70-degree weather with 30-mile-an-hour wind, because it affects it both ways too much. It's really mental toughness. Now, when I say that, you're like, Sean, it's still chill to the bone. It is. So even if I'm a little mentally tougher than you, and can we execute in this where there's no excuses? We know we got to play it, so you got to play it. But make no mistake, these guys who come out with their shirt off, they're dumb, first off. But you can't prepare for this. You just got to hope that you make less mistakes than they do in bad weather, because try to simulate it. Well, I'll tell you how you simulate it. Go get those big industrial fans, sit inside a doggone freezer that's freezing the meat or whatever at a meat packing company, and stand in there for 3 hours in short sleeve shirt with a wind blowing or a wind out, and now go play in it, and it's -8.
Yeah.
2 minutes, momentum, but guess what happens, Sigs? You go to the bench, and then you sit on that heater, and guess what you got to do? That's just a false sense of security. The worst thing about those kind of games is going in at halftime, because guess what you do? You got to come back and re-warm up. It's like, oh my gosh, it didn't get any hotter. Right. So it's just mental toughness abound, and that's what it's going to come down to. Who can execute when it's nut cutting time, and it will. Not to mention the fact that wind blows off the lake there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's where the big gusts of winds coming off that Lake Michigan.
Haganator, great to have you back.
Yes.
You've been gone for a while. Don't ever leave again. Okay. So, Stakes, can I say something real quick? Just that he reminded me of Burns. I won't keep you long, but just funny stories. I'll never forget when Jerry Burns, I might have told you this years ago, but we were sitting in a meeting room. We were struggling Burnsies last year, and there was talk about Lou Holtz replacing him in Minnesota, right? And it was Burnsies last year, but I remember we about 3 or 4 games to go. We had Keith Millard, Chris Dolman, John. We were loaded with great players, right? Hall of Famers. And I remember Burnsy came in one week, and we got our ass kicked, and he says, hey, fucking guys. I don't give a fuck what the media says. Fuck those guys. He goes, oh, the fans or whatever, they're not out here doing what we do. And they're saying some of you guys, some of you big knockers, he called the big $1 million players at that point big knockers. The big knockers were the stars. Hey, you fucking big knockers. They're fucking questioning. They say you're fucking old. They say you can't fucking do it anymore. You're slow. And you know what I tell them? I say, fuck them. They're not in our building. They don't know. We'll fight them in the park. He'd say it all the time. So we go play the next game, get our ass kicked again. He goes, I don't believe him. I don't pay attention. He comes back, get our speech next night. Dude, we got our ass kicked. I don't even remember who it was by. Burnsy comes, he goes, hey, these fucking guys, the media and the fans are questioning you guys, saying you're fucking old. Yeah, you fucking can't do it anymore. You're fucking slow. And you know what? I think I fucking believe him. He's basically saying, you know what? Fans get it. And then Ole and Burns, fuck. And Stillward was that. And he went through that speech, and we're all kind of going like this, laughing when he says, I think I believe. And the fact of the matter is that we were playing slow, playing old, our big knockers and Hall of Famers at that point in time had a rough year. And it was just those type of things creating like, damn, Burnsy's always had our back. But he had our back, but it was just a message that an old school coach said, keep doing it, and you'll be out the door with me. There's a way it works. So just funny sometimes. And if you ever once, I'll say it again, go listen to Jerry Burns' rant after a game about Bob Schnelker.
Yeah.
Punch in Burnsy's rant, Jerry Burns' rant. And if you're not crying laughing by the time it's over, whether you're a cusser or not, then you don't know loyalty and great post. Give me Denny Green's and all that, the best you'll ever hear. Hal McRae's, Jerry Burns is after that. A little sidebar, I know, Segs, but the way we had a guy, our equipment guy, Sammy Casalinda, could do Burnsy as good as Burnsy did. He'd come in after a game and say, Sammy, what would Burnsy say after this game? Oh, fucking cocksuckers. He loved that phrase. These fucking cocksuckers. I can't believe it. And dude, when you see that when they're talking about the fans and Bob Shaw, Stelker's picture comes up on the board and these fucking cocksuckers booing. And we're in our own building. It's like, oh my gosh. But it's a phenomenal rant by him.
I've watched it. I've watched
it
before. It's
definitely. In fact, you know what we should do? I don't know. Maybe Bailey, if you have it, maybe at the end of the show, just from Bailey, find that and be ready to pull it up. I don't know if maybe we have to cut it out if you post it or something, but it is a priceless piece of work that people should stay around, because if we can play it, you would friggin' love Burnsy's rant on Bob Schnelker and the fans. So classic, yep.
All right. The other NFC game played on Saturday is the 49ers traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Yesterday, a surprise pop-up on the injury report for the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold pops up with an oblique. He said he was throwing just against air and felt a little twinge in the side, and but was asked, what's the chances of you not playing? He basically said he's playing in this game. He will do what he's got to do to be out there come Saturday afternoon. So looking at this game, looking at the 49ers with their defense kind of struggling. Seattle has a very good defense led by Mike McDonald, their head coach. But Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, they got playmakers on this offense to go with Sam Darnold. What do the 49ers need to do to stop this offense first?
Well, they know there's not going to be any. The biggest surprise of the game will be if you prepared for Darnold and have to prepare for a backup quarterback. Say, right. If it got to that point. Sam has pretty much said there's 0% chance that he's not going to play. And this is one of those games. The last memory, as I said yesterday, we have about Sam Darnold in the playoffs wasn't a good one. And Sam knows that. But he's had back-to-back good years. 14. Hell, I don't know. How many quarterbacks in history have changed teams and gone 14 wins? Him and one other, maybe? Or is he the only one? Yeah, he's won back-to-back years on two different teams, 14 games. And he's a big reason why. He's been productive and been good. Sam gets in trouble when he plays hero ball. We've talked about it. What the 49ers need to do is not get anybody else hurt. They're going to have a little bit of out-of-body experience. Somebody on their team, Segs, on both sides of the ball is going to have another career game. They just are. The best thing that they can hope is that Sam doesn't play. That's not going to happen. Darnold is going to play, and it's a good thing. They can't turn it over, Segs. You can't get behind and play upfield. Listen, the fact that Kyle Shanahan has them in this position after all this is a pretty marvelous thing. And, you've got two really good coaches and coaching staffs. The fact that Saleh think about what Robert Saleh has done with that team there and all the injuries that he couldn't do with the Jets as a head coach. It just goes to show you jobs are different and culture matters. Saleh's a hell of a coach, and we'll get another chance at some point. To me, Segs, I don't know how you're going to do it because they can run it physically. You don't have all your personnel. You don't have all your personnel offensively. Basically, if you're the 49ers, you're begging for a 3 turnover. Sam gets behind and has to play hero. Or on the other side, you're begging for 30 touches, 250 total yards for McCaffrey and Brock Purdy to play like the MVP of the league. I'm not saying it's that, that they can't win. Tough task. It'll be a closer game, but it'll simply depend on this. Do you have enough able-bodied, great players to do enough on both sides of the ball. At some point in time, we got to look at that. I think it's even in a lot of places. I think the Seattle Seahawks have more playmakers. And right now with injuries, I trust their defense more than I do the 49ers. Quarterback play will matter. Which one of these guys is going to be costly with a mistake? If there's no mistakes and they both play good football, give me Seattle at home. But the 49ers are going to need maybe a little bit of out-of-body experience from their guys. And they're capable of doing it, but you are limited because right now, if you're Seattle's defense, what are you saying? McCaffrey can't take the game over. If Brock Purdy's good enough to throw it 40 times and beat us, we'll take our chance. Shanahan does not want to throw it that many times. Keep an eye on if they abandon the run game, if they're playing from behind. We'll see.
I was just going to ask you, this has to be for the 49ers offense, a 25-plus touch game for Christian McCaffrey, right? I mean,
he'd have 12 touches in the first quarter, Sigs.
Yeah.
Catching and receiving.
You're trying to establish him early and get him in a groove, and then let Brock Purdy do play action off that, and that's where he's at his best.
Play action doesn't mean shit if you're not running it well. It just doesn't. And especially if you're down 21-3, third quarter, and they ran the ball 15 times for 33 yards. If you're Seattle, you're saying the okie doke doesn't work with me. That play action is just window dressing. I ain't buying it. We know you got to push the ball down the field. The question is, are there simply, we can go through all the small little things, protection, and all the things we do every week. It's going to come down to turnovers, first down, and do you have enough guys that can make some plays? Can your stars be better than the lack of depth you have right now in San Francisco? We're going to find out because Seattle doesn't play, and their home field is a pretty damn good one.
Yeah. All right, heading to Denver. We got the Bills traveling across the country to Denver to take on the Broncos in this matchup. I mean, this is a really, really, really good Broncos defense versus what we say is the best player in football in Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen does not have the help that we've seen in past years. He does have James Cook, who is one of the best running backs in football. But can this offense take on this Denver defense that is so good at getting after the quarterback? But we know Josh Allen is so good at avoiding the pass rush and getting out, using his legs or using his arm as he's escaping the pocket to get big chunks of plays. Who do you like better in this matchup, the Bills offense or the Broncos defense?
Broncos defense. Now, what they did last week, Buffalo with Shakir making some major, major impact. Yep. That had to use up a lot of practice time on your defensive game plan in Denver. It had to, because you're saying, okay, I know when we got Cook on the field and we got Josh Allen playing his best, then where do the other weapons come from? Shakir was a big weapon last week. He just was. So it's going to use up the screen game and what are we going to do here? I just think as an overall whole, now Josh Allen makes up for about 3 players, sakes. But I'm not even sure if he plays good. Because let's look at the other side. What advantage? I'll ask the same question. Even though they may not be the most explosive, who do you like better? I know their pass game's good. Denver's offense or Buffalo's defense? In Denver, who do you like better? Call it a wash? Maybe Denver slightly offensively?
I think Denver slightly.
Okay.
Slightly.
So I think Denver's overall defense. See, here's the thing. Josh Allen keeps taking hits. The one thing he is going to take in this game, Segs, Denver is going to hit him because they're as good a pass rush team as there is in a league. I cannot shy away, if I'm Buffalo's offense, from designed runs for him. Not just broken runs, designed runs.
Yes.
Put it this way. If you prevent the explosive plays, if you're Denver's defense, now if you get to Josh Allen and miss, broken plays are going to kill Denver because Allen's capable. But if you get to him and hit him and keep going, and you're not giving up the big explosives in this game, even as good as Cook is, I'm not sure Buffalo's going to have the patience to try and line up and just kind of go. This is one of those. Denver's defense is going to embarrass you a handful of plays a game. You're going to take a sack and it's going to be 2nd and 17. I picked Buffalo to win the Super Bowl this year. If both of them are doing their thing, I still give, as good as Josh Allen is and as good as Cook is, 2 of the tops at their position in the world. Denver's defense is really good. Home does matter. my gut says, my head says, take Buffalo, because I always say if the quarterback's great, that gives me an advantage. The other side is I think that one of the keys of the game for anybody is Bo Nix's efficiency of keeping drives alive to limit Josh Allen's possessions. I think it's important. Now, my heart's telling me Denver's a better team. They are, hence why they're playing at home. And I think the West is tougher than the division they played in this year. I just do. 2 teams versus really 3 teams. Yeah.
For sure.
So, Segs, for me, advantage Denver's defense if both do it, because I think that you can limit. But I can tell you this, Josh Allen's not going to shy away from being at the center of all of it, and he's going to have to. A good Josh Allen may not beat Denver. A great Josh Allen can. An average Josh Allen, Denver wins by double digits. Okay. That's, I mean, when I say that, a touchdown plus.
Right.
So I like Denver's defense more. Maybe a wash on the other side. But if the key to this game may not be Josh Allen. The key to this game is Bo Nix. You just can't give Josh Allen chances. Denver's offense is going to have to be efficient.
And one thing to keep an eye on this week is the Buffalo Bills are only coming into this game right now, and they'll probably add somebody before the game tomorrow. But they have Shakir, who you mentioned. They have Brandon Cooks, and they have Keon Coleman. That's it when it comes to wide receivers that are healthy. Everybody else is Gabe Davis out for the year. Another player they lost for a year last week. So they are down to 3. You're going to see a lot of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, the tight ends. You'll play a lot of 2 tight end sets, I'm sure. And then
they may need to catch 10 balls between them this week,
yes.
honestly.
So, I mean,
they're not a hack offense. Don't misunderstand me.
Not at all.
I just don't trust the run defense on Buffalo enough yet. I think you can shorten the game for them. And listen, when you got a player like that, it's like giving Ohtani an extra at bat. You have a foul. The guy up before him hits a foul ball, and you drop it. Give him another at bat. The guy gets a base hit and brings Ohtani to the plate. What you don't want to do is hit foul balls and let Josh Allen get 3 more possessions in the series because you're 3 and out. Keep an eye on that. So when we're talking about Josh Allen, the key got to play good. I'm not so sure that the key isn't the other quarterback and how efficient he can be. See, he doesn't have to play great. He's got to play efficient. Josh Allen has to play great. Efficient won't be enough in this game against Denver.
Well, we'll see.
And he's capable of it because he's a freak.
One thing that can really help Buffalo and Josh Allen is if they can get James Cook going early. You can get him going early, keep the ball away from the Denver offense, and you keep it a lower scoring game. I think that bodes well if you're keeping time of possession. Now, low scoring game probably favors the Broncos because they're slowing the offense down. But if you're able to keep the ball away from their offense with James Cook and Josh Allen's legs and just picking up first down after first down and not, big chunk play. And then here comes, it's something where, I mean, I feel like that in every game, but if you can control the ball, you have a great chance to win, especially when your quarterback is Josh Allen.
Yeah, Segs, you know what about this too, and you make a good point. I mentioned it, but I want to reemphasize just how important the first guy to Josh Allen has to wrap him up. Say, I can already envision it right now. You get to him, you're hitting 240 pounds, you bounce off him, he makes a play, gets to the edge. All of a sudden, a guy comes up because he's a run threat too, and you leave 2 yards of space. You had him at 3rd and 9, Segs. You blitzed him. You wanted him to throw hot. He missed the hot read. Your guy didn't see it. You want him to throw hot, and you tackle for a 4-yard gain and make him punt. You miss. He gets out. And 3rd and 9 ends up a 65-yard touchdown. And those are more frustrating because they're backbreakers for a great defense. Yeah. So they've been really good. But this is a different dude, and you just have to acknowledge that all week long. When we played Barry Sanders in Minnesota with all our great players on defense, our practice week, even though you can't simulate Barry Sanders, we did everything we could to get our fastest guy, stick him at scout team running back, have him run around and do the things Barry did. The problem is you can't do the things Barry did. And inevitably, he was eventually, you try to tackle him, and what's the old Dan Patrick saying? You could stop him. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Yep.
With Josh Allen, that's the key. And part of that key of containment is first guy there, you better hold him up. But also, your best chance to stop Josh Allen is to keep his ass over there talking to Joe Brady on the headset or on the sidelines and getting not allowing him to run out there and do it, because eventually he is going to get you.
Yeah.
The question is how often. So we talk about their defense and their offense. Denver's ability to control the football is going to be paramount in this. And you mentioned Cook. We already know that the Cook, and is there a better 1-2 punch as far as can take over a game? I mean, the Cook, Josh Allen, when you talk about pure raw talent, who's a better 1-2 punch than those two guys in the league, Segs? There isn't. There just isn't. So it's Pippen and Jordan.
Right.
If you take one away, or at least limit one, he gets 35. Okay, Josh Allen got his. I sure as hell can't let Cook, Cook, Dalvin, his brother was pretty good. I can't let James Cook let Pippen get 30.
Right.
Now then you won't win. What I got to do is Pippen's got to get 16. I'll give Jordan his 33. But on our other side, I got to make sure that we that if both of them have 30-point games, well, now you're dealing with you got a problem here, and you're probably not going to be able to keep up points-wise, because I don't trust that Denver's going to score 35 in this game, even though they can establish the run in this game. Passing, you got to be efficient, and Bo Nix is going to he's going to be the least talked about and maybe as important as there is on the field this weekend.
For sure. All right, we talked about Texans Patriots yesterday, so let's go to her, and we'll give a couple more keys to each game as we pick them. This is our 4-pack of picks. We normally do 6. Today we're just doing NFL playoffs. So let's start with our first game on Saturday. I think kicks off, I believe, at 3:30, if I'm not mistaken, Central Time. Bills at Broncos. Broncos a 1.5-point favorite. The number sits at 45.5. Who do you like in this one?
45.5. You said Bills, Broncos, 6. Yeah.
Yep. Broncos minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. I listen. Well, I'm rooting for Buffalo because I picked them, but I also got to be on. I just think the defense will get one more stop. But I do know this: I do not want Josh Allen with the ball in his hands in the game on the line. He's found a way to even elevate his game. I'm going to take Denver by a field goal. Denver's going to win at home and move on. Although it pains me to say that, but if you'll know in about the first quarter and a half how good of the preparation on Denver's defense, how good the application of it is pretty early in this game. Give me Denver, and I hate it to say that, not against Denver, but because of my Josh Allen and Buffalo pick this year. I just think Denver's a better team, and I think they win in a close one. I just don't want Josh Allen with the ball late if I'm Denver. Give me Denver.
Okay. I'm going to stick with the best player on the planet, and that's Josh Allen.
Makes
I'm going to
sense.
take them to win the game. If I was choosing over under a 45, I like the under slightly, maybe like a 24-17 type game, somewhere in that range. 20.
So you got Buffalo winning by a full ass touchdown. If I said you have $100,000, you have to bet. Would you bet that
range? Yeah, I mean, I would take Buffalo plus the points.
No matter what. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, then we go to the second game, Saturday night, 49ers at Seahawks. We just discussed. Seahawks are a touchdown favorite at home. Over-under sits at 44.5.
I would take the under, and I would take the 49ers to get in. So I think the Seahawks are going to win the game, but a touchdown just seems – I know all the attrition and all the injuries. It's a playoff game. These two are really, really familiar with each other. So your game plan this week is don't give up certain okey-doke plays. Be smart. I think this is a late win for either team. I trust both coaches. I just think Seattle's better. And if they were both fully stocked and healthy, we'd be having probably a different conversation, Segs. On the road, touchdown favorite. Vegas is smart. I just think that's a lot. Give me the 49ers. If you're laying those points, I'll take the 49ers with the points. But overall, I think Seattle's moving on. I think both number 1 seeds in these first 2 games move to the next level.
Okay, yeah, I also have the under, but I'm going to take the Seahawks. I think they're the better team.
That's a lot of points in a playoff game, Segs, in round 2, right?
What scares me is what we've talked about multiple times this week. The last time we saw Sam Darnold in a playoff game. That's what scares me. Yep. But I do think...
Who is he? You want to know who he is in nuts
yes, who is he? Yes. And we've been together, back for almost a decade now doing stuff. And we remember, I remember Sam Darnold at USC. We both loved him as a quarterback. Obviously, he's a Trojan like you. And we thought when he came out, he was going to just take the league by storm. But where'd he land up? He ended up with the Jets. And then it took him a little bit of time to get his feet under him. And then he took off. And he's been a really damn good quarterback that I think last year was just the situation just didn't work out in his favor. I think he's a better quarterback than he showed. So I'm taking the Seahawks.
You think the regular season Sam Darnold's really who he is. I agree with you.
I
just don't think he's 7 points better than the 49ers. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Sunday, the early game, Texans at Patriots. Patriots, a field goal favorite. Number sits at 40.5.
Oh, I'm taking the under in the game.
Yeah, I have the under written down as well.
I'm taking the under in the game. And what's the spread, Sakes?
Field goal, Patriots.
Yeah, I knew the Patriots favored. It's a field goal. If you gave me the hook, I'd take the Texans. This may even end up as a push, Segs, one of those type of games like 24-21, 2017, more importantly, because that would be the under.
Yeah.
I'm going to take, as much as the defense, I think you're going to have a hard time mustering up 3 touchdowns against the Texans. And while I know defense travels, I just think the Patriots offense is feeling it more right now. And now Nico Collins' situation, concussion protocol.
Out.
They've struggled with healthy receivers. Give me I hate it because I'm, these Texans, I live in Houston, but I can't. If it was in Houston, I may have a different thought. I just think this is 17-14. I think it's 2017. I think it's hell, maybe even 17-10. I just don't see the Texans scoring a lot. And I sure as hell don't see New England scoring a lot. But I like New England's approach offensively better than I like the Texans right now. At home, give me New England in a close one. And I'd bet the under more than the points, but I think New England's going to win the game.
Yeah, I have the under as well. I'm with you on those scores. I just think
right now Drake May's a better player than CJ Stroud is.
The Patriots showed me something last week with the way they got after Justin Herbert and the way
he's better with his feet than Stroud is.
He definitely. And I know that offensive line in LA is bad and injured and everything, but this Houston Texans offensive line isn't very good either. And they can get after CJ Stroud, who you just mentioned doesn't move like Herbert. I think this is. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a 17-6, 17-9 type game where the Texans can't find the end zone. They're kicking
13-7, 13-6 after 2 field goals. Yeah, I agree.
Like
the Patriots aren't going to have every series 6 is going to be a monster because you're not going to get many of them, and a lot of them are going to be 3 short and out for both offenses, and in particular, New England. Every series is going to be precious. Why?
Right.
Because that defense is as good as we have. That's the strongest unit left in the league on either side of the ball in these playoffs, meaning the Texans defense. I'm with you.
The way CJ Stroud just tried to give the ball away last week scares the hell out of me. I think he could do that again against a better defense in New England and a defense that is flying around lately. I think I don't think the game's close. I think it's a touchdown or more when everything's said and done. Remember this.
Texans have never won a divisional playoff game.
Yep.
Maybe this changes. I think it'd be great because that defense and D'Amico's got them playing. I just don't think they're going to be able to muster enough on the road offensively.
All right. Then we got final one. Rams, a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Chicago, a 48.5 number. Where are you leaning here?
As cold as it is, everything says under close game. Yet Stafford and Caleb Williams can score 28 points, between them in the fourth quarter alone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's so obvious. You say, well, it's cold, the under. I don't know. You say, can we get to 28-24, Segs? Can we get to that point in this game?
Yeah,
offensively,
easy. I think easy.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the over on this, even though it's cold. Big play, missed tackle because you're cold, and guy steps through and runs to the house. The Rams overall are a better team. Segs, if I knew the Bears were going to play the way they do in the fourth quarter, 3 of the 4 quarters, shit yourself the first quarter, and give me 3 more quarters of consistency.
Right.
I think they can win the game. I still think they can win the game. But that guy you see in the screen right there cannot have a 3-quarter slow start. Just can't. Or a half. because what the Rams are going to do is weather's not going to affect Stafford and Puka when it comes to ball control.
Right.
They're going to throw it. They're going to protect it. The Rams defensive front has got to limit this dude's. Every week we're talking about, that's the best play he's ever made. Then the next week, that's the best play he's ever made. Nobody can make that play. I think it's going to come down to the Bears' inconsistency early is going to make it too much to overcome. Close game, I'd take the over. I think the Bears, you said 3.5, right, Six? I think it's like a field goal game. I would take the Bears if you're laying the points because the hook. I think the Rams are going to win the game because they're more, even though the Rams now, Six, we're saying this, the Rams aren't exactly playing 4 great quarters of football recently either. But veteran, I think it's going to be a great sidebar with the coaching stuff. The question is, do the Bears know how to win in this moment where they haven't seen this in quite some time? They're at home. I love what they've done this year. Give me the Rams by a field goal, and I'll take the over, like 27-24, Sigs.
I'm obviously taking the Bears. I'm not going to bet against my team, but the reason I think Ben Johnson can come out, I think they can run the ball early on this Rams defense, which will settle the offense in a little more.
Stay committed to it, Sigs.
Yeah, he's tried to come out and be too pass happy, too quick. And Caleb hasn't been as bad lately, coming out hot early in the season. Every throw, his first throw was always 6 feet above the guy. Like every single time it felt like his first throw was way over. He's settled in a little bit nicer now, but the slow starts have continued. And I think it's because of the run game hasn't been established. And then as soon as he establishes it and they get moving the ball on the ground, that's when Caleb takes off. So I think if Ben Johnson comes out, has that run game ready, I don't know that the Rams can slow it down. And then that also keeps the ball out of Matt Stafford and Puka Nakua's hands. And the other thing I think, what has Matt Stafford done over the last 5-6 weeks? He's turned the ball over quite a bit. And what's this Bears team best at? Taking the ball away from you. And we've seen them do it week after week. So, of course, I want the Bears to win. I hope they win. But I think those are the keys for this Bears team. Get your run established early and then take the ball away like you've done all year long with a quarterback who's been giving it away recently, putting the ball in harm's way too many. He could have had 4 or 5 interceptions last week.
Oh, no doubt.
And they just couldn't convert. So, I think
tip balls will be a problem in this for other. Nakua will be fine, but a tip ball interception is very real in this by one that would normally be in the catch radius. And Segs, you make a great point. My whole thing too with this is I would make sure if I'm Ben Johnson, if you have 2 or 3 3-and-outs, don't disregard the run game and say we got to start doing our thing because I know how coordinators and head coaches' egos get in the way. Like, well, this is what we do. We'll come back here too. You just don't want to keep putting yourself in a major chase mode. But secondly, that guy right there needs to be involved in the scheduled run game with his legs, not just the off-scheduled run game where he's got to make something happen. Get him involved, the threat of even if he pulls it and gets to the edge for 4 yards, you have to make those guys widen so inside zone on RPOs is more real. Listen, if the Bears win the game and anybody's absolutely shocked, they should not be. You don't win as many games the Bears did by chance. You had to play some good football. Just don't chance making it a fourth quarter win where you got to score 17 because you may have picked the wrong opponent to do that because McVay is going to study every single thing the other teams did to screw themselves late and not put his team in possession. And you're dealing with, we talked about the best 1-2 punch at quarterback being Cook, running back being Cook and Josh Allen. The best pass combo 1-2 punch in this league is who? Nakua and Stafford right now.
Easily.
So you're facing some really good stuff. I think this is going to be a phenomenal football game, and I cannot wait to see how they deal with all of it. And people are going to lean into, well, the Rams are going to play Chicago, and they are used to going to the beach after they kick somebody's ass. And while we joke about that, don't kid yourself. It can be real because unless you went and trained in some cold state the last week, because you ain't getting that in California, you damn well better be prepared for all the elements that can kick in.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating with the weather, the cold. It could snow. They're talking snow as well. So if you're Ben Johnson and Sean McVay, utilize DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, and Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, and that can settle your offense in, especially in this type of game with the cold. Let the pads pop a little bit and get especially your big guys, get them warmed up with the run game early.
Yeah, as a media and fan of just a football sake, you know what I want the sideline reporter to ask Ben Johnson before the game, or Sean McVay? How about all the gamesmanship and locker room talk? What does that mean? I want to know. I'd start the game and see if Ben Johnson
Fuck the
screw
Rams.
Yeah, where they had to bleep it out. Don't you want? I want to get him fired up. I don't want to. Hey, coach, what do you got to do well today? Well, we got to run it. We got to tackle.
Yeah.
I want you to start it. And if he says, I don't give a shit about their coaching staff, isn't that great theater?
Yep.
I want the sidebar. I want them to feed the
Have fun with
gamesmanship
it.
and the rival. I want them to feed it this week. Bad.
All right. Well, everybody enjoy your weekend, your NFL playoff weekend. Remember, Monday we get the national championship game, Indiana versus Miami in Miami. So we'll talk about that
Preview
Monday.
that hard on Monday.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll have Coach JB join us. We'll talk about these 4 games. We'll get his thoughts on the national championship heading into it, and maybe his thoughts on Dante Moore passing up arguably $50 million guaranteed to come back for what they're saying is somewhere around 7. I've seen reports of 6.5 to 7.5. So I'm just kind of going there in the middle for Dante Moore at Oregon with 7. But we'll talk about all that.
And we may have a
Go
few
ahead.
coaching signings over the weekend too
Yes.
in the NFL that we can talk about too, Segs.
Yes, go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Unpaved Sean Salisbury. Thanks, Triple E, Laura, and Bailey. Thanks to all our listeners. We'll leave you with this. We got about a minute of Jerry Burns, and we're just going to let Bailey run it and just play it out, and then we'll just
Have a
end the
great
show.
weekend and tune
Yes.
into this great shit.
Enjoy your football weekend. We'll talk to you guys Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. Peace.
I don't like to name names after a fucking game, but we can't be responsible for the blocking. We can't be responsible for the fucking guys jumping offside. We can't be responsible for we get down there and it was a dumb play by Anderson. I love Anderson, but it was a dumb fucking play when his foot was shoe was coming off up the line screen. We were hard to take time out. We had a fucking trap play called, and his fucking shoe comes off. That ain't Bob Snelker's fault. We have another fucking trap play, and if Finney picks up his fucking feet, he walks in. We got the fucking pass to AC out there in the flat. The ball's thrown in low. That isn't Snelker's fault. We got right down there. We got the second down, and I don't know what the hell. 2 yards ago, I don't know what 15, 40, whatever the hell it was, and Irwin jumps offside. Now, these are the things that have been hurting us all along, the little things. We're working at them to stop them.
Unpaved, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.